fellow conservatives, we are at a moral impasse at the moment. And I'm, of course, talking about the whole problem with Roy Moore. As you all know, is why you freaking clicked onto this video in the first place. I'm going to keep this short and sweet to the point. Roy Moore cannot sit in the U.S. Senate. I can understand if you will want to write him in the hopes that he will get expulsed from the Senate and be replaced with another candidate from the Republican Party. But there are many who are not voting for him for that reason. There are many voting for that reason because they truly, genuinely believe that even with all the evidence that we have out right now, that Roy Moore is not a child rapist or a child molester. Even with all the evidence. I'm talking, of course, talking about people like Steve Bannon and David Horowitz and stuff like that. We are not going to be able to keep our moral standing if we elect him and we seat him in the United States Senate. It will not be good for not only the Republican Party, it will not be good for the country. It will further lead to the rapid polarization of said American politics. And also, we will definitely lose a lot of seats in the House and the Senate come next year. Now, this issue, I believe, and it is true, that this issue started with the Democrats basically defending Bill Clinton when he was in office, and defending him over his incredibly alleged, sexual malfeasances and assaults while he was in the White House, and the Democrats defended him till the death about it, waiting 20 years too late to actually do a fucking thing about it, which severely pisses me off. How they got the whole moral high ground back, I will never understand. Well, no, I will understand, because whenever we have a shot at actually doing something right, we fuck it up. We always do. But yeah, freaking Democrats defended Bill Clinton to the death. Republicans wanted some payback in the form of Roy Moore and Donald Trump. And while I don't think Donald Trump did as many bad things upon his treatment of women than Roy Moore, I mean, it's not good. It's still not good if he was grabbing women by the blah blah blah. And it's really unfortunate that we have people sitting in office that were also being paid out by your and my taxpayer dollars to sit in the Senate despite having credible allegations against them for a long time. It's really unfortunate that it's taken this long for all this stuff to reach the mainstream news, which says something else about the state of American politics, but we can go into that in another video. But this is what we were all banking on. That if Roy Moore, this is what a lot of people were banking on. If the Democrats did not get rid of Al Franken and John Conyers, then the Republicans were going to vote in Roy Moore. They were going to vote in Roy Moore, and not only that, they were going to seat him in the House. Well, not the House, the Senate. They were going to seat him in the Senate. And guess what? Just today, Al Franken said he was going to fucking resign. Yes, he did. The guy credibly accused of molesting women in pictures, in photo ops and stuff like that. Even in comedy, he has finally said he was going to step down after a couple of weeks, I think, of Democrats not only defending him, but saying that him wanting an investigative committee to turn in on himself is incredibly dumb. Even with all that stuff, the Democrats finally pressured him to resign. Conyers is giving his seat to his son. So you think a lot of people would be balking on Roy Moore, given these developments. But that's not the case. That is not the case at all. In fact, there are a bunch of people on the right who are doubling down on Roy Moore saying that he is a wonderful, swell guy. That is a horrible, horrible statement to say. When the dude has been credibly alleged of going into 14-year-olds, going into schools with 14-year-olds, calling them out of classes just to see how they were doing. Writing his name into their fucking yearbooks and catcalling him at a freaking mall when he was in his 30s. If you are a Steve Bannonite or something like that and you still support Roy Moore, you are a freaking ignorant and immoral asshole. Alright? And you have some really picky standards, alright? And I agree that Democrats are the main reason we have this culture of sexual harassment stuff in politics and mainly popular culture. Because they let a guy in office go. But that gives you no excuse to dump the guy who has been credibly alleged of doing all this stuff. Where most of the evidence has been seen. And where most people have seen that Roy Moore is guilty. He is a guilty man. Alright? And I understand you don't want a Democrat to get the seat. Alright? And like I said, if you want to vote for him so that way his seat doesn't if his seat doesn't, so that way his seat doesn't get ended up taken by a freaking Democrat, I'm fine with that. Especially if you're on the side of let the House expel him and then have a special election in Alabama that solves everything. I am for that issue. Because right now it looks like he might win with all this bullshit. Alright? If you were in Alabama, I'd say don't vote. I wouldn't vote for a guy who thinks you can kill babies in and up to 30 weeks. Alright, that is a very immoral argument. Killing babies just before they're born, it's pretty damn dumb. Killing babies at all is very dumb. But right now, the Democrats have got the moral high ground. If we don't end up dumping Roy Moore, if he ever gets voted in, if we don't dump Roy Moore and expel him in the Senate, if he ever gets voted in by his Alabama constituents, Republicans are going to be screwed in 2018. If we don't ever get our heads out of our asses, we may be screwed for the entire rest of this decade. We will be screwed in 2020. We will be screwed in 2018. There's a definite chance we will be screwed in 2020. Alright, I don't understand how you guys can, all you people who are defending Roy Moore over all these allegations, even though they are fucking credible. I don't understand it. Alright, when you guys were fervently going after all the Hollywood sex scandal stuff, all the Bill Clinton sex stuff, all of that stuff, but you're not going to go after Roy Moore when he's credibly accused of this stuff? But yeah, you're going to freaking choose Roy Moore just because he's a freaking Republican. Like, yeah, that's pretty sound logic. You're going to jump on all of the Democrats for all their things, but you're going to be really nitpicky when it comes to us. Especially if they're credible. Alright, I understand being very distrustful, especially since the original story came from the Washington Post. But as Ben Shapiro said, if it's from a place that, if it's a credible accusation, and you then try to outweigh it by calling people who published it fake news, you're going to be perceived as the bad guy, and you will forever be perceived as the bad guy. Doesn't matter what else you do over this issue. Doesn't matter if you backtrack, you will still be perceived as that. Okay, I still do not understand how in the fucking hell anyone could support Roy Moore. Like, I don't mean the vote for him to get expelled thing. I mean actually legitimately support him. Like, they think he's a good guy. I don't know how anyone can see he's a good man at all after any of these accusations. Okay? And if we're gonna dump him, we need to dump him as soon as he gets into office. well, not into office. As soon as he's voted in, the Senate needs to vote to expel him. And he may throw a freaking cattywampus about it, but at least we'll have an actual moral compass that is set. Alright? Now I know that the Democrats aren't gonna do this again in the near future. They're doing this to get one up on us on Roy Moore. Alright, because they're gonna use this to beat us in 2018, possibly into 2020. And they will definitely use it in the presidential election. So, here's my message to all you assholes that support Roy Moore. And I mean fervently support Roy Moore over all this shit. And I mean, you think he's a good man morally, even though all this shit is out there that is true and credible. Go fuck yourself. Just fuck yourself in the face, please. Alright? The fact that you're willing to ignore credible allegations is beyond me when you do the same thing if any Democrat is accused. Just shows how politically partisan you are, and you are also the reason why politics today are so freaking divisive. Thank you for contributing to probably the stupidest thing in United States history right now, is the American political divide. Thank you, you assholes. And all the Democrats who aren't really wanting to get rid of Al Franken, who are now backtracking just to save face, you're also fucking assholes. You can just eat shit and die for all I care. Go down in an e-hole and I'll throw a grenade in there. Alright, I'm tired of all your bullshit. I'm tired of everyone's bullshit on this issue. Either have some moral standards, or face the consequences of thousands of women coming up in the near future. And killing any chance, and basically killing any chance that we have of a moral standing when it comes to sex, when it comes to actual relationships, when it comes to work even. Either do it right or don't do it at all. And when you don't do it at all, you're going to get screwed. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to proceed to kill myself now because I'm just done with this. I'm getting pretty sick and tired of all this political partisan bullshit. Alright, and this whole thing with Roy Moore it's pissed me off to the point where I just want to... I'm really just ready to go to the Libertarian Party and put in a letter asking to come in. So I'm ready to join the Libertarian Party now. Alright, the Libertarian Party said some pretty dumb shit in the past. They're seeming more reasonable than a bunch of these Moore guys. So alright. Goodbye.